All right, let's turn now to the other side. Former President Trump set to take the stage soon in Saginaw, Michigan, as we give you this live look there. Michigan is a state that represents 15 vital electoral votes. And correspondent Alex Capriello is live for us at Saginaw Valley State University. That is where the rally is being held. Alex, what do we expect to hear today from the former president?
Well, I can tell you that there are hundreds of people that are eagerly awaiting him to take the stage. His remarks scheduled to begin at 3 p.m. Eastern, and I had a chance to speak to some of those voters ahead of time, wanting to find out exactly what's on their mind, what issues are most important to them. They tell me, without a doubt, it is the economy and inflation. They hope that former President Donald Trump not only wins the White House, but also is able to address it. And so we're seeing Trump put a lot of attention on the Rust Belt and on Michigan specifically. This will be his 11th visit here to the Great Lakes State, his second one specifically to Saginaw County. And it's no wonder why. Saginaw County, since 1992, has correctly predicted the winner of the state of Michigan outright. So that goes all the way back to former President Bill Clinton. It's not going to be easy for either of these candidates to win the state outright. It is what we consider a swing state. Right now, Kamala Harris holds less than a 1% lead over former President Donald Trump. That's all according to our Decision Desk HQ polling. It's an incredibly close race as well. Last election cycle right here in Saginaw, when you take a look at the numbers, former President Joe Biden narrowly defeated Trump by a grand total of only 223 votes. That's how close it was right here in Saginaw County, Nichole. Now, just like last week's stop at a manufacturing plant in Grand Rapids, Michigan, we expect Trump to focus a lot of his messaging today on the economy and inflation. The former president has promised a sweeping overhaul of manufacturing policies that he says is going to bring more jobs to Michigan. And he also plans to enact robust drilling plans that he says will drive down the cost of inflation. That is good news, at least to the people that I spoke to right here at this Trump rally. And of course, for all of the Rust Belt, when it comes to manufacturing, when it comes to the auto industry here in Michigan, that's the type of news, that's the type of policies that they want to hear.
All right, so we know, Alex, Michigan, like so much of the country, is divided. Michigan is a swing state. How close do we expect it to be at this point?
Well, we already took a look at the national polling average from Decision Desk HQ, which is less than 1%, of course, well within the margin of error. But when you look at some of the topics, right, how do they match up when it comes to inflation, when it comes to immigration? We are seeing a closer and closer race than ever before. We're looking at specifically the Cook Political Report polling. This is a trusted poll. Both candidates deadlocked when it comes to inflation at 47%. That's when swing state voters, specifically in Michigan and some of these other states in the Rust Belt, answer the question, who's the candidate that's going to be the one that gets inflation under control? So again, deadlocked at 47%. But keep in mind, just 2 months ago, former President Donald Trump led by 6 points when it came to that exact question. So it really is a dead heat, specifically here in Michigan, specifically here in Saginaw County. That's why it's so important for the former president to make his presence known here. Hopefully he can take some of those undecided voters that makes Michigan a swing state and flip them over to his side.
All
Nichole.
right, Alex Capriello live for us there in Saginaw. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.